Hey everyone, welcome back to our deep dive into books about African American history. Today we're talking about the incredible life of Malcolm X as shared in his autobiography. This isn't just a personal story, it's a journey of struggle, identity, and transformation. Let's kick things off at the start. Malcolm was born in Omaha, Nebraska, but life hit him hard early on. He lost both parents when he was just a kid. His dad in an alleged suicide and his mom ended up in a mental institution. That's heavy, right? But one memory really stood out to him in his childhood. He was a bright student with dreams of becoming a lawyer, but then his teacher crushed those dreams, telling him to think about being a carpenter instead. Can you imagine a young kid full of potential being told to settle for less? That moment shattered his enthusiasm for school and shifted his path. Looking for a fresh start, he moved in with his sister in Chicago. Chicago was a whole different world. From ages 17 to 20, Malcolm got swept up in the club scene. But alongside the music and excitement came a darker side. He fell into hustling. He dealt drugs, stole, gambled, and drank. But here's the thing. Even in that chaos, Malcolm had a sharp mind and a magnetic personality. People were drawn to him. He was the life of the party, mingling with legends like Billie Holiday and Red Fox. This charm would play a huge role later as he fought for change for Black Americans. Eventually, he made his way to Harlem, where things took a turn. Malcolm felt mentally lost. Misunderstanding with a guy named West Indian Archie sent him back to Chicago, where he got deeper into drugs, smoking marijuana, and using cocaine. He started burglarizing the homes of wealthy white folks with some friends, but it didn't come without consequences. He ended up in prison for burglary, facing a tough 10-year sentence, especially since he was caught with 2 white women. This was rock bottom for him, but it's also where his story shifted. In prison, he discovered Islam through his brother, and that changed everything. His family practiced Islam, and he began to awaken to a whole new understanding of his identity. He realized how the history of Black people had been systematically erased since they first arrived in the U.S. For so long, they'd been robbed of their true identities and made to feel inferior. Malcolm passionately spoke about how Black men were kings, stripped of their heritage by slave masters who forced their last names on them. He even challenged how Christianity was often used to keep people submissive, preaching messages about turning the other cheek and waiting for rewards in heaven. Through all this, Malcolm developed a belief that white people were the devils, responsible for the pain and injustices he faced. This perspective came from his own experiences and the reality he witnessed. Malcolm X's life before embracing Islam is a powerful story of resilience and the quest for identity. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, we can find clarity and purpose. This first part of his journey lays the groundwork for the amazing transformation that's to come. Thanks for joining me in exploring Malcolm X's early life. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dive into his incredible impact after he embraced Islam and the legacy he left behind.